Hi everybody, it's Nathan again. Welcome to another Take10, a daily art challenge where I challenge myself to put aside at least 10 minutes to draw something or paint something for myself. And that doesn't seem like a lot, but trust me, some days it is not easy to get that time. Case in point, today it is very late. I usually do these during the day or in the first thing in the morning. This one's getting done at the end of the day. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to affect the posting time, but it'll be up today. So, you're seeing this today, the same day I drew it, based on your location. I am in Australia, so I have the advantage of being 14 hours ahead of most of people watching this, I'm assuming. Just fiddling around here today. I thought I'd do something like a dragon, maybe just a serpentine monster. You know, they say you stick with what you know when you're in the clinch, and when in doubt, monsters. That's my motto. Not a ton going on different today. I do have a class to teach, one of those comic book classes I was talking about teaching tomorrow, and I have 5 people signed up for this one, which is more than last time. It's only the second class, and it's not something that they generally offer at the website that I'm doing it for, so it's good to know there's that kind of support for something like this out there. Tomorrow is my first all-ages class. There'll be a 13-year-old kid, I believe it is, going to be attending this one. Not that that's a problem. Most of my class material is pretty generic, but just interesting to see how the mix goes, because a lot of the class is sort of spontaneous, and we come up with material together. I present sort of like a history of comics and how comics work and things like that for about half the class. And usually the people I'm dealing with either have no experience making comics at all, or are very experienced at reading them and know a lot about comics. So interesting to see what 13-year-olds are like today as far as comic book knowledge. Like, does he know more than superhero stuff? Is he aware of the world of webcomics? We'll see. It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Also had another one of my other job doing the caricature stuff. I had a job at the City Museum, Natural History, so I got to draw in a room full of skeletons from dinosaurs, which is pretty sweet. I took some photos of I think it was a brachiosaur. They had some velociraptor there set up. It was pretty nice. It's kind of fun. It was just caricatures of party people, so it's just, I'm drawing the backgrounds, so I get the most fun from that. Got to draw little dinosaurs in every scene. It was fun coming up with ideas. I did a lady driving a car away from a rampaging T-Rex, and a couple of people did like poses, like portrait poses, so I just drew them with dinosaurs running around in the background or running across their hats and things like that. Dinosaurs are one of those things, like one of those infinitely adjustable subjects like fish or birds. There's a lot of variety, so you can get away with a lot. And it doesn't take much in a cartoon sense to sell the idea of a dinosaur, so that was pretty cool. Let's see, thinking about it today, who's been my inspirational artist for today? I think I'm going to go with Bobby Chiu today. I'm doing a sort of fantasy monster here, and that's sort of his forte. He's a pretty big hero of mine in the podcasting world as well as art world. He does a lot of movie concept work. He worked on the Alice in Wonderland Tim Burton movie, and lots of other things really, but he has a studio in Canada, and he has a very popular training program called schoolism.com. It's very nice. You should check that out. A lot of videos from industry professionals on painting and drawing and all kinds of cool stuff. I haven't done one of his classes yet, but I have watched his podcast a lot. He does something he calls a Chiustream, because it used to be hosted on Ustream, and now it's on YouTube, which is just sort of a live drawing show where he answers questions and things and draws something over the course of about an hour and then gives it away. So I really like his inspirational sort of attitude, and I really like the fact that he's always willing to support the art community and teach people how to do better art. That kind of stuff is what helps people like me who are just getting started keep going. all of my art heroes are sort of inspirational to me because of that. They care about the community and they try really hard to promote it. Not just for themselves, but so other people can achieve their dreams. And that's a big deal. I spend a lot of time in life trying to defend my choice of how I spend my time or what I wanted to do for a living. Parents and teachers and things, it's hard for them to understand that because it's not a kind of career that you can say, well, they'll make this much money per year and it'll be stable. They can work for this company, this company. It's not sort of that kind of thing. Even in the heyday, it wasn't like that. It's certainly not like that now. But the point is, if you love it enough that you can't think of doing anything else, you have no real choice other than to do the thing that you love in that case. And for me, I think art is it. I think I feel that way about art. So, that's what I want to do. And hopefully, little things like this will help me get there. It's funny, I know I need to work on my portfolio and actually put together some final pieces, something I can use to sell myself, but I can barely find time to do these 10-minute things a day. It's pretty sad. It's really sneaky. It's funny, I wonder how often when pros are not necessarily working on an idea, they just sort of let things happen and make it up. I think the term for that is doodling. And yes, doodling is very fun, but like everyone tells me, it is not the way to build a portfolio. You might get the ideas for things for a portfolio, but you have to have something in mind. You can't just always work on nothing in particular. And I would agree with that. Like I said in the other videos, I'm trying to be a little more deliberate today. I did actually sit down and think about what kind of creature I was going to draw today and how to get there. This is not exactly what I had in my mind, but it is very similar. I was thinking big cartoon reptile kind of thing. Not so bad. Okay, now that I've got the pencil down, I'm going to move into some Copics. I think I'm about 6-7 minutes in. So I've actually got a brand name Copic here today. Salmon Red. I was thinking Red Dragon before, but something I've learned about these pencils with markers, I mentioned it before too, but it's kind of cool. If you like sort of a rough look, if you have pencil lines on your paper and you do markers on top of it, the pencil lines will not only show through, but be stuck there. You can't erase them anymore. And I always like to leave a little sketchiness in the work. So, that works out well. It also helps when I go back later to do highlights. I've still got the pencil lines I can see through there for reference. So if I go through and make a fine line here with the marker, I should be using the other tip for this, but it's more convenient to do all at once. The idea is that you can put down better thickness marker if you start with a thin line and then do kind of a wash over it like this. So see, you still get the depth, a little bit of variation in tone through there. You could also do, the other technique is to sort of cover the area with tone first, a nice flat even tone, and then go ahead and draw your highlights and shadows and whatnot like that. But I like to leave some spots open so the paper color shows through. So doing it backwards works better for me. Also, I like to have some sort of the randomness of it. I use the chisel tip because it's harder to control. You get a lot more sort of what they call happy accidents. I'm sure everyone's heard that term before. But the randomness of it gives you unpredictability, and that can actually come in pretty handy. Unlike the last drawing I did, which I don't want to apologize for it because you don't really apologize for your art, but it wasn't great. And I know it wasn't great, and I was under a lot of pressure to make something. I feel like I may have fallen a bit short of what I'm capable of doing. I was embarrassed to put that one up, to be honest with you, but time as it is, I had no other choice. I want to blame, you can blame it on having to draw with one hand and hold the camera with the other, or whatever, but being nervous, shaky-handed. But the point of it is, it wasn't very good drawing. And although this is not a show that I'm trying to do about how to draw, or look at how good I can draw, or whatever, you gotta have standards, and I don't think that's sort of met up to them. So I've decided I'm going to try to focus more on producing something halfway decent. And if I don't get to share the whole process with you in the video because of the 10-minute time limit, that's fine. I'll work on it later. And I'd rather not have 2 or 3 videos on the same piece back to back. Like if I record them all, if I do the whole piece for like 2 hours, I don't want to just have 10-minute segments of the 2-hour piece running day after day on the site, because that's kind of, I feel like it's a little bit cheating. Because the point of the challenge is to do 10 minutes of work a day, at least. Not 2 hours of work and show you 10 minutes of work a day. So, although it's a challenge for me, and I understand the goal of it is my own growth, and sharing it with you guys is just a bonus benefit for me, I also feel some responsibility to give you something worth watching and listening to. The auditory content, me talking, I'm not sure how that's going to get better, but I'll try to think of more thought-provoking things. I have to watch some more Chiustream. Like I was saying, Bobby Chiu's got a really good pattern going with his audience. It helps that it's a live show, probably, and he can take questions and stuff, whereas I have to just sort of talk off the cuff to no one. You get unfiltered thoughts, which is scary, and hopefully that's not too bad. But like I said in the first video, you can always turn the audio off and put on music or whatever you want to do if you feel like you want to watch it and don't want to put up with me. This is kind of the way I work normally too. I mean, I don't talk myself out loud so much, but I do sort of have a running dialogue in my head while I'm drawing. Just general stuff, things like, I need to more highlight over here. That shadow's too dark, things like that. Also random stuff, like just thoughts that go through your mind when you're working. Like I need to order some more pencils, or we have that class tomorrow to practice this other stuff for, and make sure you print some more of this. Just random art-related thoughts. The same way the pencil wanders around, finds a shape, the mind wanders around and finds information about what I'm supposed to be doing. It's funny, when I was a kid and in art school, people would always ask me things like, why this? Why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? Just because they wanted to understand. And it was funny because I've worked like this for so long, I didn't really have anything to tell them. My answer was always, that's what seemed natural at the time. That's kind of a cop-out, I know, but that was the best answer I could give them at the time. I don't know. It's kind of like when people say, where do your ideas come from? The only answer is my entire life. Sometimes it's easy to point out inspiration. Like I did see a lizard today, but he was nothing like this. I think just the idea of lizard in my head led me to think of reptile, monster. Like the fish thing yesterday. I saw another drawing of someone else doing a drawing of a fish the day before. That's about as much reference as I can think of as to why I thought of doing that. So I don't know. Maybe my subconscious is very slow. Okay, I think I've gone way over time already, so I'm just going to leave it at that. I will keep picking away at this one though, so there might be some better update later. Let's see, and of course, I'll be back tomorrow with another 10-minute video, or hopefully 10 minutes. Until then, you guys keep working on your stuff. Take care. And I'll see you tomorrow.